So every opener, I swear, is a rogue, guys, is you just sap into blind. If you can sap into blind, you will be at least 2,500 in solo shuffle. Yeah, there's all sorts of things that you could try to focus in on when you're trying to improve, but definitely taking things one thing at a time is the way to do it, because you can't fix everything at once. Is anyone in the chat like 2K and they feel like they're hard stuck or something? Bro, if you link something right now, we'll see right now why you're hard stuck. We could watch your gameplay for one game and we'll see exactly what's going wrong. Does anyone have like a solo shuffle game recorded? Does someone in chat have a solo shuffle game recorded under 2K MMR and we could all watch? Is there like an Assassin Rogue, perhaps? Is that a thing? Because I would know most about like Assassin Rogue or even Sub Rogue. Anything in solo shuffle that's around 2K, that's a melee. Here's something. If you're trying to progress in WoW, this might sound dumb, but if you're trying to learn the game and get better, you need to give yourself all of the best possible advantages that you can have, right? So what are the best possible advantages you could give yourself? Well, one is having good add-ons, right? You want every add-on you can fucking get. Get the Gladius, get the way to track their cooldowns, get the better arena frames, get the weak auras telling you what people are pressing. And then the next thing is you need to have the best gear that you can have, right? If you're playing with gear and you have all the wrong stats, you have no enchants, you've got no gems on, you didn't craft any gear, you don't have full conquest, you don't have the Drakebreaker eye level, you don't have the tier set, right? That's the second thing. And the third thing is you could start with the right talent build, right? You could have all of the best talents that you could possibly have. So you've basically set your character up for success. You've got the best gear, the best enchants, the best talents, the best add-ons, and then you have a computer that's capable of playing on more than like 60 FPS. Like, that's a good starting base before you try to really like, yo, why am I stuck at rating here, right? Because you wouldn't believe how many people just have the wrong talent tree. They've got no enchants. All their gear is wrong, right? They don't have any add-ons, and they're wondering why this game is so difficult to learn. Let's see. Let's put the quality up, guys. Should we check out an Outlaw solo shuffle? Should we guess the MMR? We don't even know the MMR, guys. We got a viewer submission gameplay. So I don't want to hear nothing about it. We're gonna break it down. We don't know the rating. We don't know what's going on. So far, judging by the UI and stream setup, this looks like a WAS type UI. And I like the webcam. All right, I see we got a cat too in the background as well. We got an Outlaw game here. I don't know if our talent build is the same. So we're seeing right now, we've got an Evoker, Damage, and Resto Druid. We're fighting Kitty Cleave with a Holy Pally. Okay, first problem. What the fuck are we drinking? This is some Zaryu level drink here. This is a huge bottle. We can obviously tell this guy goes to the gym, right? Obviously this guy's going to the gym. We know this, all right? And then that further reiterates that. Okay, so we got our talent trees here. Our talent tree does look very similar to ours. Is this a Zaryu viewer? Is that what's going on? Lunchbox saying that's up? Okay, so like already the fact that we're adjusting our talents and shit, we have to be, we gotta be decently high rated here. We gotta be looking like, doing this kind of shit, I feel like this has got to be 1,800 to 2K. I'm not even already off the rip that we're looking at our talents. Like, that's insane. So if I'm seeing Kitty Cleave, we got our Wound Crippling on, we're refreshing it at 46 minutes. Yeah, definitely some tweaker shit. Definitely closer to 2K. I'm thinking we're going to run in, sap Pally, and start Feral or Warrior. Probably start Warrior, switch Feral. Okay, yeah, and we're talking in chat. We said Feral or Warrior. Okay. We got more information, right? We look at this warrior. He's missing 40,000 health, and he already has Sharpened Blade up. We're definitely back down at 1,600 for sure. So, yeah, usually you wouldn't see something like this. This guy is missing a shit ton of gear, and he's already pressed Sharpened Blade. So that's an immediate couple hundred rating drop. So let's see what happens. So I'm thinking we got to roll the bones here. Okay. All right. So from the starting gates, we really thought 1,800 2K, and then this game starts. So for those that didn't see what happened here, I'm thinking we're gonna run in, we're gonna roll the bones, we're gonna sap the paladin, and we're gonna cheap shot the warrior. But we pistol shotted him, which is our number 3 keybind. So we pistol shot out of stealth. We have no roll up. We're confused. I don't know either. I don't know why you're not in stealth. Okay, feint. We're getting some pistols up. So we're on the Holy Paladin right now. Let's just watch a little bit and we'll see what's going on. Okay, I like that disarm. We got to kill the war banner. You have... There it is. Nice. Good. Okay. We got clones. We got trinket. We triple D our blind. My man is locked in. Okay. All right. Okay. All right. Let's pause. Let's pause. Let's go back to the start. Let's go back to the start. So here's what's going on here, right? So we start this game. Ideally, every game we're trying to start is we're going to run in and sap something, especially in solo shuffle. If you're someone out there that's a rogue that's struggling to climb in solo shuffle, the first thing you should do, this works literally until even 3k MMR. You literally sprint in and immediately sap the healer. Unless you're going to run the healer down, you should always run in and sap the healer, right? And as Outlaw, we need to roll the bones in stealth. It doesn't take you out of stealth, and then it makes it so when you roll the bones, you already have your buffs up. You already have the energy spent, so you're regenning, and it's a less thing you have to think about when you actually start the game. So we should sprint in. Like, either here, I would roll the bones, hook sap, or just go in for the step sap. So we run in. So we should look for the sap, right, with roll the bones up. But we don't do that. So we pistol shot this guy. So our next thing is, right, we already have a focus target. This is our main target. This is our focus. So with this, even though we got knocked out of stealth, our next play could be to either vanish, step, sap this guy, or we could dance, try to sap him. Because there's a chance we could get this sap, because we see the warrior running 100 yards away from his paladin, which we saw was back in the starting gates, right? So right here, this paladin is over here, right? So this guy's AFK or something, right? He's doesn't even know what's going on. So we could sap this guy and open on this guy. Even the warrior running in, right? Just completely leaving his paladin in the dust. So we're pounced off this. First thing we do in this pounce is, out of this pounce, I'm probably pressing feint. I'm getting my roll the bones up. In my first set of combo points, I'm going to get a slice and dice up. Because unless we're going to decide to immediately attack someone as Outlaw, you'd have to first of all build at least 5 combo points to get a full kidney shot. And then you'd want to make sure the CC's, or the pally is CC'd. So to do that, you gotta get 5 points off, get a blind, get a kidney shot, and you won't have your slice. It's too much. So you just roll the bones, get the slice nice up. We already have the right guy on focus, which is good, and we see the pally running in, which means he's probably running in. I'm not sure why he's standing there. I'm not sure, because when he's this close, he's easy blind, right? Or off this, if we're not going to do the slice and dice, roll the bones, is we get out of this pounce, blind the pally, immediately dance Feral with Adrenaline Rush, and start killing him. Right, so those are a lot of different ways that we could have started the game. But what we do is, we get out of the pounce, we do get the feint, and then we start attacking him, getting some combo points. But then we switch to the paladin, right? So we're hitting paladin, which is not good, because you even called the strategy here where you can see where you said to go Feral or arms, and you're hitting neither of them. So, like I said, guys, you got to make a game plan in the starting gates, and you have to... You want to stick to the game plan, all right? Because your teammate's clearly understanding what's going on, right? He's on the warrior. So if we see the warrior dying like this, we could do 2 things. We could immediately kidney shot this paladin and just switch right to the warrior with a dance step, right? Because this guy's already half HP. Paladin is behind. He can't do shit. And your druid's keeping you alive. You're not in any risk of dying because there's no warrior here, right? So we played out. Instead, I think we eviscerated too, which is bad. We don't want to throw an eviscerate, or we actually used between the eyes. So we don't want to between the eyes here, because we're not going to kill this paladin and we're wasting our combo points, and we could have stunned him instead. So if we stun this pally instead, he's immediately in a 6-second kidney shot. We switch to the warrior, and now the paladin is forced to either trinket or bubble, or sit the kidney shot and let his warrior die because he's already at half. And then now you're actually forcing cooldowns out of the way. You know what I'm saying? That's how it starts. So, and then once he kidneys, if you kidney this guy and go on this guy, and he trinkets, you can then get a full blind on him potentially, right? If he doesn't get a sack off. And then you get trinket and bubble within the first 10 seconds of the game, and you've basically won the round. Right? So it might not look like you could do a lot in this situation, but that one global you used on this stun potentially lost you the round already, when you could have won in the first 10 seconds, potentially, right? So like we got points again, and then you dance cheap shot him, which is awesome. So you want to prioritize kidney shot here, right? We want to prioritize kidney shot instead of cheap shot because it's a longer stun, and we want to go on the warrior. So like another way we could use the stun better, right? So we got bubble anyways. So in this bubble right here, this is another time to get your slice and dice up and your roll the bones because we still don't have roll the bones up or slice and dice. And roll the bones obviously would take priority over slice and dice because that's what gives you a lot of your power as outlaw for whatever buffs you can get. It's just always good to have up. And it's a good time to do it now during bubble because there's virtually no chance you're going to kill something in a bubble, especially given the state of the game. So this is where you prepare your buffs and get ready for the next go. So off this, we have a lot of options too, right? Like we got a step disarm, which is cool. The second you see war banner, you need to immediately kill the banner. This is something I see with everyone I play with. No one kills war banners and no one kills spirit links. War banner and spirit link and healing tide and even grounding potentially take like the highest priority in the game to kill, right? Because if you kill this banner immediately, we see this paladin at half HP still, he hasn't healed himself. We could kill this banner before he's out of bubble, immediately send a full blind on the paladin off the bubble, right? And then he's in this position where he's half HP, he's caught in a 7-second blind, and he's probably going to panic trinket. And if he panic trinkets, you immediately just hook, full kidney, and he's dead 100%, rounds over, right? So we got the disarm, and it takes us a bit to kill this banner, so we got the roll up. We finally target the banner, we kill it. Powie's out of bubble. Powie trinketed a sleepwalk, I guess. So we have a Kin in the Warrior. Do we have Smoke Bomb? Bop. So we go for... So the Powie got sleptwalked after the blind. He trinketed. And what we should have been looking at in this last couple seconds is since we opened Paladin and we saw that he bubbled and he's half HP, is that the kidney shot is on 4-second stun DR, which means you shouldn't have kidney shot the Warrior because you can save the kidney shot for this guy off of bubble because he's on forbearance, so there's no chance he can really save himself, especially since you have evoker damage. Instead of like right off this clone area, we save the kidney for this guy and we kill the paladin too, right? So we could have ended this game in the first 30 seconds in a lot of different ways as we've seen. But we should go Pally like right now. So we triple DR blind him. We should just try to attack this guy with the banished cheap shot even, just keep the pressure on him. Because this guy's bopped, right? And he's on wings. So the convoy's here. So we're still on this guy. So we're blade for hitting the warrior. I'd either chase the paladin here or yeah, I would want to run at the paladin. So we have kidney again. We have full kidney. We could look to gouge in this kidney shot. Are we expecting to gouge? Oh, we are. Yeah, that was a terrible clone. So it looks like no one's on the same page. So we kidney shot this warrior and we're killing this warrior and our druid actually cyclones the warrior instead of the feral. But the other problem here is that this guy is on the healer still. So this is something that you need to adapt to in solo shuffle if you're going to want to climb, is you need to pay attention to what your teammate's doing. You can call the strat in the starting gates, you can tell them exactly what to do, but if they're not going to attack the same target as you, you have to just go and attack their target. Because if it doesn't matter if you're not doing the most optimal strategy, it matters that you're both doing the same thing. That's going to carry you further before. So we get cloned here. So I would at least like go hook to the paladin because this guy's still dying, right? Because we're killing DPS when we need to be on, you know, anything besides each target. And now the paladin circled back around. Looks like we're about to die. Oof. And we die with the vanish. Oh my god. Oh my god. Here we go. Classic example. The druid says immediately, "What the fuck are you doing?" Right? That's a classic solo shuffle experience. Because I don't know what the fuck this guy's doing, but he's asking his teammates what's going on immediately in the first round loss. Right, so we could have broke down what's going on, but we probably should have just committed Paladin there, all right? That's what I'm thinking. So that's an immediate, this is definitely 1600 for sure. We'll see the next round. Honestly, I would not even type back to this moron. I would ignore him completely. I would hope he's on the other team to take his points. That's what I'm hoping after something like that happens. Let's put the camera right here. So let's see, we queued up. Let's see how you respond to it. Okay. It's such a blame game. It's such a blame game of what's going on. And I mean, he did have a bad clone, but like I said, there was a lot that could have happened before that happened to where we could have won the game. You know what I'm saying? And that druid is clearly tilted. So we should take this information and know that, yo, this druid's hella mad. That means we can maybe kill him easier because he's not going to pay attention. All right, so we got another round here. We got another round here. Guys, this is Bradley's game. Shout out to Bradley on this one. We got Warrior, Evoker, Druid. So I'd want to get an early blind on the Druid, right? We want to get early blind Druid to get his trinket out of the way. If anything, we could try to maybe sap the Evoker and start on the Warrior. But I would probably go for that blind Druid and maybe start attacking the Evoker. And if the Druid trinkets, we could switch to the Druid with a full stun. Because we have Feral Rogue. We kill everything, Let's see what we do. So we didn't talk any strategy this time. Oh, we did. We called Evoker. We called Evoker right here. So we want to roll the bones in stealth. Let's get a roll the bones up. Okay. This is 2 rounds in a row. I don't know if we have to change our keybinds, but this is the second time we've opened with pistol shot. So something is up with our keybinds here. And judging by your reaction, you're also confused that that's happening. So is cheap shot not on our bar, or what's going on in stealth here? Okay, here's the mistake. So you're hitting 3 instead of 2. That's what's going on. And then regardless of us doing that, we're starting the game wrong, right? Every game, like I said, every round, you need to try to sap something. You swapped your keyline from pistol shot and sap right before these games? Okay, here's a simple thing. We should switch that back. Let's switch that back. But we run in, we're sapping the Evoker, right? And then we can open Warrior because it's a free CC in the opener. It's so good to do. People panic. It's a lot of time where they're out of the game and you can get a good start because of it. So we have to sap this Evoker. We pistol shot, okay. Okay, so we pistol shot out of stealth and then we immediately shadow meld in a panic to get back into stealth, which is also bad because you actually cannot shadow meld into re-stealth because your stealth is actually on cooldown. So if you're knocked out of stealth, it's fine because outlaw openers are not really make or break, right? Like you don't have shadow dance to really, well, you do have dance, but it's not like a sub rogue opener or an assassin opener where you can really get like a crazy, you're doing a shit ton of damage. It's more like, you know, it's more tame. So in this situation, since we're knocked out, like I said, we're going to get the roll the bones up and immediately get a slice nice up and faint and crimson vial. Okay, so like we opt to evasion here, which is not good. We don't want to evasion right now, right? Because the warrior hasn't Kyrian speared us. There's a very easy way to get out of this, right? So we get knocked out of stealth. First thing you do when you get knocked out is you don't go for the shadow meld, right? You would just start building calm points. But basically what you do here is once you're stunned in this position, if you're actually worried, all you have to do is just feint and you look towards the middle of the map because our teammates are on this side of the map. And all you can do is just feint and you grappling hook away and you're completely out of danger, right? Because they didn't put the Kyrian spear on you, so they have no way to stop you. So when you use evasion in this situation, it's bad because you could have saved it for later in the game when you're going really aggressive or actually in trouble. Because especially at the start of the game, there's no way you should ever die here, right? Because everyone has every button and you do have hook away, so you just run away. Or you could even just disarm the warrior. You could also just disarm the warrior too. Right? You feint, disarm. Boom. Disarm right now, and then you don't have to evasion. He can't do any damage, and it's like you're chilling. See, Blade Storms? I think we disarmed into Blade Storm, and now we're getting Evoker Cleaves. That's still fine. So we use Cloak and Evasion. So we're going for a dance here? Okay. There we go. Okay, we got the Druid on focus. Okay, so look. Right? So the start wasn't that great. But we got the Druid on focus, we got a blind, we got his trinket out of the way, and when this happens, we have a Feral Druid on our team, so one thing we need to look at is we need to let the Feral Druid kill everyone in the game by us doing nothing. So when this happens, you have a couple choices. We have a kidney shot available, so what we could do is we could either try to commit killing the Evoker, right, by you running at this guy and gouging him, right? You would gouge this guy, and then you'd get combo points and kidney shot the Druid off that, while helping your teammate kill the Evoker. But for some reason, I feel like that's not going to happen here. If I had to guess at what you're doing, the fact that you faced this guy right when you trinketed, it's also something looking at his skin, because this guy could die very easily in a full kidney shot. Like, he's in a tough spot now. So let's see what we do. Okay, so we just decided going with kidney. That's fine. We need our feral to see this, though. Nice. Feral connects. Okay, he tranks. That's great. That's great. We see the trank. This game is over. This game is... These people are dead as hell. This druid is already struggling, healing. Like, we could destroy the warrior. We could destroy the evoker. We just have to not randomly die now. Okay, we kidneyed in Warbanner here. We got it. So we have to kill that Warbanner, right? Like, Warbanner again, have to kill that immediately. Warbanner is insane. 40% CC reduction on every spell is out of control. So we just kill that shit. Our disarm would have been full. Our stuns would have been full. Okay. Okay, so we're doing a lot of stuns here, right? So right here, when you're opening as outlaw on someone, you don't want to cheap shot them. You want to always get the kidney shot on them, because cheap shot is just so DR. It's such a short stun, and it also, cheap shot is something that builds combo points. Kidney shot spends them, so you can do a lot more damage when you expend a kidney shot as opposed to a cheap shot, because if you cheap shot, you're ideally supposed to re-stun the target with a kidney shot, which means you can't do any damage globals. Otherwise, you lose all your points, right? And then it's also just a lot of CC the druid would have to sit, and he can't heal his teammates in that time while the feral is killing everything. So, like, if anything, what you should have done here is you could just kick this druid out of stealth, right? And just ambush. And then off the kick on the druid, you could kidney shot him off that, because he's casting in stealth and he can't see you. So instead, we have to cheap shot him. So now he's on stun yard. We can't get the kidney on him. Okay, we can go Evoker. We should get a kidney on this Evoker in a sec. Yeah, good. Put the druid on focus here. This is where we focus the druid, so we look for a gouge or a kick or something. This guy's just so dead. Doesn't even matter. Don't even need it. Don't even need it, right? All right. Like I said, that was the druid that was tilted from the round before that said the what the fuck are you doing, right? And that guy immediately lost. And then you got him again on the other team, so it's like, dude, nice. We need to, like, yo, this guy is hella mad. Like, we got to capitalize on this. And now we have Warrior Rogue. He's on it. He's like, yeah, this guy was talking shit to me. I have to shit on this guy. Absolutely. I mean, that's 100%. See, we're on the same page there. That's what's going on. So we're out of stealth right now. Okay, we're in stealth. So we got a sap. This Evoker's AFK. Are they AFK? Nice. I would kidney this Evoker and blind. Blind. Trinket blind. Okay. We got a Hodge. That's good. Druid trinkets. Okay. So we're taking some damage here. We're taking some damage here. Basically, this game is over. We could either kill the Druid or the Evoker. We just have to live this opener from this Feral. This Feral has somehow destroyed us like this. In this situation, too, we could also look to try to gouge the Feral. I don't even know how he did this much damage to us. So I'm opening here. I'm literally blinding this guy every time. Like, one of the best ways to play solo shuffle as a rogue is you literally sap the healer and blind them. Every time. If you can get a sap blind off in the opener of a solo shuffle, you will win so many more rounds, because are they going to sit the blind? Like, sap blind is like 15 to 16 seconds of CC or some shit. Imagine trying to sit that as a healer in solo shuffle, right? There's just no chance when there's all this damage going on. So it's a guaranteed good opener to just sap blind the healer every time. So I would blind right here. So I guess realistically at this point, you could just put the Feral on focus and gouge him here, since you're already stunned, but that's not a big deal. +2, one of the first things you want to do out of stuns is try to feint to reduce some damage. But this is where we get our slice nice up and roll the bones, ideally. So it's okay. Cloak too. Okay, we cloak. So the Powie decides to blind the Evoker. We could actually look to... So this Powie went hard and he got a blind, and we just, okay, so this was going pretty well. So we're right here, right? So the Druid is on 6-second sap DR with the polymorph. So basically what happens here is we see the Paladin. Our Paladin runs in and double blinds, which is insane, because if we look at it, the sap says 4, the blind says 5. So realistically, we should be able to vanish and sap this Druid full off of this, and the Evoker is 1,000% dead. Because he's now going to be caught into a blind, into a sap, into another blind, into a potentially even another kidney shot, right? It's like 30 seconds of CC. So we need to stay on the Evoker, though. It looks like you target Feral here. So he storm bolts, which is good. It's DR, but it's fine. So instead, too, what we could also do to guarantee this CC win is you could even DR blind the druid, right? If you're too worried about the sap DR, is you blind off the blind, and then you could vanish sap him. And then this evoker is at 50k health, right? He's 100% dead, and there's just nothing he can do. The average player can't see all the stuff you're seeing. Well, I'm saying, like, there's certain things to look for, right? Like when a blind comes out, that's when you're looking as a rogue to sap things, right? Why would you be looking to sap something as a rogue if there's no CC? And what CCs can you sap off of as a rogue is like blind. There's like nothing else to sap off of, right? That's like all there is. So this game is won, right? This game is over as hell. You don't need to be on this Pharaoh at all. It's fine to kitty shot him, but off this kitty shot, you would be leaping towards the evoker who's at 50k health, right? Compared to the Pharaoh who's full HP. Blind this guy, or just sap him, because you can do both, and then the game is over. You won the round. But instead we missed it. And then we also could have saved the kitty shot for the healer. Right? Because one thing that people do is outlaw that's wrong is let's see, we'll go right here. So we got trinkets here. We watch for the DRs. Yeah, so look, we get the blind here, right? Kitty shots on 6-second DR. So one thing that people, it's kind of counterintuitive to think, but a rogue, as outlaw especially, just because you're not kidney shotting the guy you're killing, it doesn't mean that that person can just like heal themselves and come back to life, right? Like if you don't kidney shot the evoker, all he can do is try to like run away and kite you. So if you kidney shot the druid, it's like, oh my god, the DPS I'm trying to kill is like running free and running around. But you're denying the healer all of this healing output. So this game, there could be won so many ways right here. But instead of kidney shotting the Pharaoh, if you hold that for the druid too, it's another easy way to kidney the druid while you're going to the evoker because they run on each other. We gotta use grappling hook more too. We gotta use that to get on top of people. Okay, and then we DR blind Pharaoh, right? We don't want to do that here, right? Because we're not in that much trouble. Right? And instead of blinding the Pharaoh, you could just gouge him, right? It's DR anyways. You just save, like the guy has no trinket, so you blind sap is like a guaranteed win condition. So now we're in a tough spot. Rooted, you can vanish this root if you want. So there's another time too where what we can do is we can just gouge the druid. We can go on the evoker, right? Because we're killing the evoker. The evoker has to be the target at this point. We can just gouge this druid, let our warrior kill the evoker, and then off the gouge, we can kitty the druid and go on the evoker because the warrior is already stormbolting the guy anyways. And then instead we got bashed because we're attacking him too long. Do we get cloned? Okay, we kitty the druid. Yeah, so we're just having like trouble with target choice. We're on the wrong guy. We have Vanish too again too. See, like, Vanish can save us in these situations because we're hitting into thorns, and, like, once you Vanish, too, another thing I see rogues do is they open immediately. When you Vanish, you don't have to open, right? You can, like, wait a sec and just sit in stealth and kind of chill because your team's not going to die usually instantly, and it's not like a game-breaking thing to come out quicker. Like, you're going to do so much more or something when you come out. We got the double Druid Rogue now. Guest Pharaoh is 6-0, perks of playing DPS. This Druid is hella tilted. He's from Frostmourne. So we're 1500 lobby. Okay. Healers can go 6-0-2, but don't clone the kill target during burst. Okay. All right. So this is all right. Here's a quick thing. When you're trying to play with people, is you don't do that. You don't do this, right? You can't talk back to them, right? It's just not a good move. All it's going to do is make them play worse. You're already stuck in game, right? You had to wait 30 plus minutes to get this moron in your lobby, right? The druid, and he's already trolled you one round. You know he's upset. People that are upset, you just have to cater to them. That's just how it is. Otherwise they're just like, you know what, man, fuck it, I'm gonna leave, bro. I'm out of the game. I don't even give a shit. I'll just lose. Like, so you just gotta not tell people anything and just try to push past it. So they're saying to go on the dragon. So if we're going dragon, we're gonna roll the bones and sap the paladin and go on the dragon. Realistically, at higher rating, what you'd want to do is you sap this paladin after you roll the bones, and you could cheap shot the warrior into a cyclone. Or the druid would run up and bash clone the warrior while you all in the evoker. Because in a game like this, double stealth opening, you get a good chance to sap. There's a good chance you could just win in the opener because off the first sap, you could vanish, guarantee the second sap them again, then you could blind them, and then when they trigger the blind, you could cheap shot them off that, and then off the cheap shot, you could kidney them. Meanwhile, the whole time, your teammates are killing this evoker the whole time, right? So let's see, we get a sap. Cheap, that's good. So off this sap, we're looking to blind. So, right? So, like, when we let this guy out of the first sap, he can immediately start using cooldowns and heal. While even if you blind and it looks like no one's dying, he's at least forced to either sit there and think, I need to trinket or bubble or have to do something. And then it's good because it gets your blind, that's 1 minute, 30-second cooldown, out of the way when trinket's 2-minute cooldown. So, like I said, if you're a rogue, you got to start with sap blind. Just sap blind the healer and just go on a DPS. So, Druid pounces. He's going for a clone now. Man, I swear, when I'm watching people play, it looks like the game is happening fast as fuck. I'm looking at this CC, and we're, like, dead every time. What the hell even happened? So we got the cheap... So, like, right here, this is when you would look to disarm the warrior. Right? Because ideally, like, I'm telling you to hit the CC, and I'm trying to watch what you're doing, and it's throwing me off so bad that I actually can't even tell what's going on in the game. So, like, you get the sap, you get the blind, you get the opening cheap shot, and then you look at the warrior, and you see the warrior press the cooldowns, and then you disarm the warrior here. So, once you get your stun, you're not going to do that much damage, but once you do this, you're looking to then disarm warrior, because then it denies everything that just happened to you. Oh, he got stunned too. So even off this stun, you can disarm, and then it messes up his cooldowns too. So that's another big deal on why rogues die, is because they're just not, they're not using their tools early enough on the other DPS. Because it looks like we get out of this, we leap in, and the warrior just claps us both in this spear breath. So off this blade storm, we're still looking to get a disarm warrior maybe. Everything's on stun DR. We just have to live. We do a cheap shot. Disarm. Okay, we got the disarm. Good. We just stay on the evokers. Just stay on the evoker. We need slice up still and roll the bones. Guys, this is another reason why, if there's anyone that is playing a SAS rogue, if we should even do any of this stuff, any more review, a SAS rogue is much easier to play. Because Outlaw has to manage all their buffs. They have to manage the slice and dice. And trying to do a damage rotation as Outlaw is very confusing because it's a lot of global cooldown usage and a lot of button mashing. So I always recommend to play a SAS because this shit is hella confusing to play at first. Wait, the Paladin just bubbled. Wait, so looking at this, we can just win the game by blinding the Paladin and sapping. But we got to kill this banner first. Another banner. See, we kidneyed into banner again. We have to kill that war banner. If we just kill this war banner and throw a blind out of the Paladin, it's just... Yeah, we DR blinded, DR clone. This war banner just got infinite value. So we just literally two-shot this banner. Blind would have been full. Could have sapped off of it. Evoker dies 100%. It's over. Does anyone have any Assassin Rogue gameplay, like under 2400 rating? Does anyone have that? I feel like more people play Assass because Outlaw is kind of confusing. That's fine. Yeah, we got a full clone. This guy's dead. We just kill this guy. We just blade rush, step, or hook. Yeah, he's just dead. Okay. Yeah, no, they are. They're insane. That's why when you realize you have certain good classes on your team, you got to let them win the game for you. So that's when you go into the role of just doing more CC. All right, look. We're in stealth again. What we can do is there's so many ways you can open in the game. There's so many ways. But if you're playing Outlaw, just press roll the bones and stealth. Start with roll the bones. We could try to cheap shot this warrior, but we're looking to blind the resto druid. We need to blind this guy instantly to get his trinket. We can wait for the hot. We don't have to do anything. We can look for people in stealth. Our evoker and teammate can kill this guy. It's 2v1. If we look, there's 3 people here. 3 people here, right? Okay, I didn't explain that right. There's 2 people in stealth and we're in stealth. So it's 2v1 on the warrior right now. So we could let them 2v1 this guy and wait. Because this would give us the opportunity to position where we think the druid would come out of stealth, right? And then if we had to think about it logically, the resto druid could come out in 3 spots if his warrior is right here, right? Which would be up here, or over here. And if I had to guess right now where this resto druid's coming out, I don't know if the warrior ran this way. I feel like the druid and them are over here. Out of all 3 spots, right? They could be here, here, or here. So I would sit right here and wait to blind the healer when he comes out. So the Pharaoh's out. Okay, so they were all close together. They were all close together then. Okay, so we're Pounce calling. This opener sucks. We should blind the druid off this. We should hook blind him right now. Nice, got the blind? He trinkets. Now we could switch the resto druid right now. Full kidney shot on the druid. Boom. Switch this guy. Press every button on him. That's fine. That's it, ladies and gentlemen. You fucking heard it here first, man. When you're getting carried on Feral, you just die. It's just that simple. Guys, the reason why this happened is because Evoker is a disgusting class. Evoker, I mean, if we're looking at the details here, we can look at the details. We have not even seen the rogue on details, right? The Evoker is literally triple killing everyone in its pathway and somehow managed to one-shot this Feral from 50% HP. So that's what's Evoker is disgusting. That's what's going on there. Not that the Feral was a rookie. It was just that Evoker is crazy. So we got that. Brad's calling Feral again, though. Okay. I don't know if it's going to go as well without the Evoker on the team, but it might. I like the strat calling, though. Watch for deep breath. I'll open on Evoker to... So that's getting too complicated. Let's just call a target. Yeah, let's backtrack that. What are we going to do? Let's get a sap healer. Let's get a roll the bone sap healer. 1 game roll the bone sap healer. Okay, we got a sap. Cheap shot. Good. Trinkets? Trinket blind Powie off this? Okay, clones. That's fine. Go Feral with the kitty. Okay, triple the other guy. That's fine. Cloak. Oh, God. Holy shit, we're taking all the damage. Okay, that's fine. Okay, let's dial it back in. Okay. Powie bubble. Man, cooldowns are just going everywhere. I can't even believe this. We do our kitty again. Okay. 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 This is not looking good. Okay, there it is. Man, I'm not gonna lie, guys. When I watch WoW and I'm like picturing the game how I would play it, and I'm looking at what I'm seeing, I cannot tell what the fuck is going on. This looks so chaotic and so hectic. It feels like we're dying the whole game. Everything's on stun DR and we're killing nothing. Like this is insanity. I'm like looking at this. I'm not even sure how we can try to recover it after we've gotten to this point in the game. It's like what? How do we even get? I'm like. We need to run away behind the box and sit there and heal and get a total reset. Everyone needs to stop hitting buttons and we need to like refresh because this is so all over the place right now. That's a tough lobby. I gotta say, guys, Outlaw is not the spec to play. Okay, we gotta. Does anyone have any Assass solo shuffle at all? Anyone? Oh, we got Assass Rogue, ladies and gentlemen. We have an Assass Rogue. Here we go. We have no webcam. No webcam right now. Let's take a look. From looking at our UI, if we have to guess the rating range right now, looking at this UI, looking at the comp, looking at the HP bars, I'm going to have to guess. This has got to be 16 to 1800. 16 to 1800, I'm guessing right now, just by looking at what's in the lobby. Our UI is hectic. We've got shit everywhere, and we've got like European looking font as well, which I'm also not liking here. So let's see. Let's get into it. So we got. I'm assuming we're playing all the right talents and shit. Okay, great first move, right? Gates open. We immediately put someone on focus. So since we're fighting RMD and we're playing Warrior Rogue, we could choose to either go on the Rogue or the Druid or the Mage. What's the best target to go on? I have no idea. We'll see in a second. We'll see what happens. So we're waiting in stealth. We're kind of far out here. We're a little far. I kind of want to be kind of closer to our teammates, right? Especially since we're sapped. Okay, we go for the Garrote. Okay. All right, so here's what we're looking at right now. In this situation, right, we're in stealth. Our warrior is sapped. So when you decide to open here, right, if we Garrote this mage, we can most likely assume that the rogue is going to open on us. And what that means is when the rogue opens on us, there's a good chance he's going to stun us, and then he could disarm us, which means if we get kidney shot for 5 seconds and then disarm for another 6 seconds, that means that we're not going to have any dots up. We're not going to get any damage off. We're not going to do shit for the first almost 12 seconds of the game, right? Plus, right? So we could wait a sec for the warrior to charge in, and then there's a chance the warrior also hits the rogue out of stealth if he's charging in like this, so we could just be a little patient. But ideally, we do the double Garrote. So what I would do here is I would double Garrote the mage, assuming that the rogue is going to open on me if I go. And what that means is I'll have 5 combo points available to immediately kidney shot someone, so I can get a stun off as fast as possible. So we do a Garrote Rupture, so we're cheap shot. So we're feared. So off this, you press Rupture. So your next play here should be to mark for death, step kidney, smoke bomb this guy, since he just trinketed fear. And in solo shuffle, remember when I said the biggest mistake rogues make is they don't press kidney shot? Is we should stun this guy immediately and just start destroying him, because this is how you're going to get ahead in the game. So instead, we Rupture him, we Garrote him, we disarm him, right? We haven't stunned him yet, right? We disarm him, and now he disarms us. I think he vanished there for a second. And now we're dotting the mage. So we got to get a kidney shot on this rogue, right? Right now, we kidney the rogue and bomb him. Right here. Right, so this game so far, we're almost 40 seconds into the game, and we have not used kidney shot a single time, right? And realistically, if we see our warrior spear like this, if we just kidney bomb this guy is so beyond dead, it's unbelievable, right? Like, he can't. What is he gonna do? He's got no trinket. Rogues are so squishy to warriors and rogues, but we chase the mage here and we death marked him, and he has alter time, so he heals back to full anyways. Rogue Jar Stuns again. Oh my god. Like right here in this situation, we could just blind the druid, right? The druid's on top of us. We just throw a blind on him, kidney shot the rogue, game's over. We just have not used any stuns on the rogue. We should just still okay, we gouge. I like that. Gouge into blind into kidney trinket. Like, this is a situation right here. We see the rogue's at 10%. He's got no cooldowns left. So we should absolutely use a kidney shot on the druid here instead of the guy we're killing because he's already dead, right? So we blind him. Good. Kidney him now. So we won this game without kidney shotting the rogue a single time, right? And that's bad. That's a huge problem, because we could have won the game in 10 seconds if we stun him in the opener. So instead we switch up. So this is going to be a lot harder now because we got mage, rogue, shaman, a kind of a bad comp. So we're saying trinketing gouge is not the play. So this rogue, after he won that round, says trinketing gouge is not the play, and the mage says LOL. So technically in this situation, we got very lucky that we were even there, that he had to trinket gouge, right? Because our warrior did everything for us, which was very good. And then he does kind of have to trinket the gouge because everything else that went wrong on their side. So it was like, you know what I'm saying? Because if he doesn't trinket that, right, you have blind and kidney, so he's in a checkmate position overall. But and then you're also, this is the mage that you just beat, so it's also another thing. It's not helping you win when the mage, unless, you know, it's, let's go again. He says maybe he thought I didn't have blind, okay, or he had to trinket the gouge because the game was lost in the gouge. But it's all good. That's fine. That's fine. Okay. So here we got warrior rogue. I'd probably just train the rogue, honestly. I would just train the rogue and warrior and try to CC druid. So we could sap this druid and open warrior with a cheap shot if we want, because we want to save that kidney shot for the rogue, right? Because if we open with a kidney shot on the warrior, that means that all we could do is cheap shot the rogue, which is not as long of a stun as kidney shot. Sap. Okay, so we decided to kidney shot the warrior, which means that we are committing hard to the warrior, right? Because, like I said, that's our best stun, so we want to save that. Guys, everyone relax. I know a lot of you have Gladiator Losa and all these add-ons. Have you guys seen Mez play? He has 1,000 add-ons on his screen. I mean, and he's one of the best players to ever play the game. So it's fine to have add-ons. Okay, you need to have add-ons. So we got full dots on this guy. I would immediately look to start dotting the rogue off this. So since we're in cheap shot here, this is definitely just feint. Feint off this and look to start dotting the rogue, I think. Okay, so we haven't pressed feint yet. And we're disarmed now. So we used... Holy shit. So we got Sheep Jars on the Druid. We blind the Druid here. The Warrior is almost dead somehow. I don't even know how this happened. So first thing we do, we see War Banner. We gotta kill the War Banner. Gotta kill the War Banner. Just evasion this. We have evasion up already. So yeah, like, see, this is another person that doesn't touch the War Banner, right? Like, we have to kill this. Guys, War Banners, Siphons, Healing Tide Totems, we have to kill this shit. Now our kidney shot is DR. We can't disarm anything. They're, like, practically immune to CC. Like, we have to stop that. Here, I would literally just, like, feint and look to try to get a disarm on the Warrior on a spear. And we can pretty much win this game by just gouging the Druid and we kill the Rogue. We feint now. We have a disarm. We got to disarm the Warrior, right? So we're committing Warrior. Okay, all right. We'll deathmark the Warrior. We should gouge Druid. Nice, nice. So this is another situation where we could kidney shot the Druid, right? Because we're fighting an arms warrior. He's got no cooldowns. We have deathmark every single button. And we just gouge this Druid into a full kidney. And there's zero chance this warrior lives. But if we kidney shot the warrior here, there's a good chance the Druid can save him with Nature's Swiftness or something, right? Okay, or he just dies anyways. Don't even need it. Don't even need it. That's fine. Okay. So we're 1,400. We're 1,400 as a sass. And we've won 2 rounds in a row. We're playing double rogue now. Druid says, your CCs, man. See, those gouges are prime, man. I would rather go mage, but the warrior just dies. All right, well, what we could do is we could sap the shaman. We could mark for death, kidney the warrior, and try to kill this guy in the opener, right? Ideally, run in, sap shaman, kidney warrior, fully dot him up, and then blind the shaman off sap. That's what we should do. Nice and simple. Sap, blind healer, open warrior in battle stance. What do we do? Sap, mark for death, kidney. It's insane. Oh, deathmark this. We got to blind. Someone's got to blind this guy. We got to kill this banner and blind this. Okay, so instead of killing the banner, we did a DR cheap shot. Our teammate did. We did a DR Garrote. With banner. Banner is still down, right? We got to kill that banner. And now we're dotting the mage. I would stay the warrior here because he just trinket parried. And we have 2 blinds to work with, right? Because we have 2 rogues. So if someone threw the blind out, this guy definitely trinkets that first blind, and then we get our second blind go much quicker. Right? Is that insane? Looks like we just died through evasion and vanish, and we had cloak. So we got to get cloak off here. That's unlucky. Versus 24, but what is going on here? Okay, so we lost a round there. Do we say anything? Sub can self-heal more than warrior. Okay, if we're looking at what we're doing target choice-wise, we don't want to ever compare sub-rogue self-healing to arms warrior self-healing. We're looking at what is more valuable to try to shut down or attack based upon can they kill us easier if we're attacking them, not how much healing they can do. You know what I'm saying? So that's where we're at right there. But this MMR is, are most of you around 40? What is the average rating, actually? Because it's hard to tell, because there's differences in rating when we look at players, because people that are at 1,400 are doing everything wrong. Everything is wrong. People that are like 1,800 to 2K, they've got a better baseline gameplay, so it might be a little easier to see and try to understand what's going on. Because someone that's in the 1,400s, their baseline would be a lot lower than someone who's around like the 2K rating, right? We have a 2,300 MMR Assassin Rogue, guys. Yeah, link the 2.5K too. All right, let's see this. This is okay, bro. What is this UI? First of all, what are we looking at here? I've really seen some different designs with what's going on. I mean, this is, I don't even know here. This is okay. We're at 2,300 MMR right now, right? We're fighting warrior. We're fighting warrior, rogue, priest, and so this lobby looks like a 6-0 lobby, right? We've got all priests, great class for assassin to deal with. I'm assuming our talents are the same ones I have. So here, what we can do is we can either decide to try to, if we're playing with a Shadow Priest Rogue, we should sap the Holy Priest open on the Warrior, or what we can do is we can sap the Holy Priest, let our teammates 2v1 the Warrior, and we just hard CC the Priest by triple sapping him into a blind, into a Groat Kidney, and maybe you can even kill him off that. So let's see. So we sap. Okay, so, okay. Jesus Christ. So we got, okay, let's just let it play. Let's just let it play. Guys, what is up with these Gladiator Losa add-ons? I actually cannot see what the fuck is going on in the game at all. Like, so if we restart this game, so we sap this guy. We mark for the kidney. The rogue opens on us here. In this situation, we could look to try to disarm the rogue immediately. Or we could go for a blind here. So off this kidney, it'd be good to either go for the blind and then disarm rogue and continue killing warrior. But we got to get the blind out of the way to get this guy's trinket, right? There's no point to not sap or blind off the sap, right? So right here, this is where we disarm this shit, right? And ideally, what you do is you're supposed to step left, right? You blind the healer off the sap, and then you step disarm rogue so he cannot evasion it or stun you potentially by the time you get in range. And then this is clearly going to fuck up their go because of the whole Warbringer and the Kyrian Spear and shit. But none of that happens. And I think we actually almost get double killed right here. So we get Storm Bolted. Charge, Kyrian, everything. We're in trouble. We got to literally feint, cloak, evasion, everything. Okay, we use a Vanished Sheep Rogue. We still haven't disarmed anything though. So we saw the priest use Will of the Forsaken, which means if we wait for this DR properly, we can get a full blind sap on with no trinket available, and we could definitely kill something in that time. Okay, so we can... He has banner down. We got to kill that banner. See, we kill the banner at 2-3. Go for blind. Yeah, got the blind. Now, in this situation, too, it's kind of awkward because I can't really see your UI that well. But, like, here's where instead of... You see how you blind this guy and you're, like, jumping away from the priest? This is where you get close to the priest because you know there's probably not a way you're going to sap this blind. And this warrior is at risk of dying. So when you position yourself closer to this guy in the blind, you can immediately gouge off blind or gouge trinket. And you could also have that opportunity to potentially save your kidney shot for the priest here to kill this warrior because he's already at half HP, right? And then off of the kidney, there's a good chance that your shadow priest has his shit back where he's got silence, stun, fears coming up, right? And this is where you play to win right here. So when you're jumping away like this, you're making it so you cannot do anything to this guy after the blind. And then, so now you're forced to have to use a shadow step if you want to CC this guy, which means you can no longer shadow step out if you're going to die, right? So when you do this, you got to try to commit to winning here because this is like your last chance because the opener was so bad. So instead, off that blind, I think it breaks. We go for a smoke bomb here. We have a silence here. Guys, I gotta say, what are these add-ons that are showing you 1,000 debuffs on top of the guy? Are you guys actually looking at this? Like, what is going on? And then we're sitting here, the rogue is killing us. We need to look at the rogue and gouge this guy. We need to delete these add-ons from the game. What is any of this? There's 100 abilities above this guy's name. Do we die here? Okay, can he? Gouge, nice, that's good. He raise. Do we have shivs on this guy? I'm assuming we do have shiv. I can't. Okay, there it is. We have disarm. Disarm Ogre's Dance. That's fine. So we want to keep this priest on focus here, right? Okay, we got a kidney, we got feared. So off this fear right here, I don't know if it's possible. We have an opportunity to try to look for a re-stealth, because if we re-stealth off this fear right now, because they're kind of split, there's a chance for it. Obviously, you'd be taking a gamble because there is time where you could be attacking this guy. But if you re-stealth here, there's a chance you maybe sap this fear, or you can cheap shot this guy, or you can garrote him, and then regardless, if you get the re-stealth, you get the strong garrote anyways, which would probably net you more damage on the warrior regardless, right? So here we try to re-stealth, and then we go fuck with the priest. And then he's also not on gouge DR, so there's a good chance we can just gouge this guy. Even though he does have a bunch of dots, it still slows him down. And then, like I said, another situation where, yeah, if we didn't get in this guy before the fear, like... So instead... Oh, they walk us down? Wait, we got a re-stealth there. So we get out of this fear? So we get out of this fear and re-stealth, and instead of going for this cheap shot rogue, you see how you went right? You're supposed to go left here. Right? Because in this situation, so you've had two really big positional mistakes. Like when you went for the blind, you jumped the wrong way. And then you go here on the pillar. So right here, you're looking at this guy. Because your team is shitting on these people. So you re-stealth and you immediately go CC this guy. Right? So you could, what you could do for like the longest CC is you could step cheap shot him. Wait for your garrote to tick down and garrote him at the end of cheap shot. And then at that point, that would net you more value than what we do here. So instead we stealth and we go straight to the DPS. And we let this guy over here just immediately get back to healing this guy, especially in deep dampening. And then when you do that cheap garrote, your shiv also comes off cooldown. So once you get that cheap garrote, you can have the shiv on the guy before he even gets out of CC. So it's even harder for the priest to come back, right? So it's like a lot of little stuff like that. It adds up a lot in the game. Cheap. So even here, I think we had a rotational failure. We should have cheap shotted the rogue and then garroted the warrior. So we cheap. Yeah, instead we like cheap, because the second you get out of stealth, the first global you want to do normally for the most damage is garroting the target, because that's how you get the empowered garrote. But we don't do that. We like cheap shot, mutilate, and shiv. So we wanted to garrote, then shiv, instead of mutilate. And then here, this whole time, we can look for focus 6 on priest, or we see the priest dispel. That's easy gouge out. Easy gouge out. Kidney deer, that sucks. We might be dead. We're dead. We have death mark. Yeah, we're dead. Okay, tough game, tough game, tough game. We got sub-rogue assass. So let's see. So here, what we could do is we could sap disc priest, go shadow priest, or we could sap both priests and go warrior, right? Because if we sap the warrior, there's a good chance he just Zerker rages out and then he peels us instantly. So let's see what we do. So we sap the shadow priest. Okay, so this is already a problem, right? You're playing double rogue at 2300 MMR, and you didn't get 2 saps. It should be virtually impossible to not get 2 saps because you're both in stealth, and you could just tell your healer to sit back. So the fact that we had to use sap blind is bad, because we already used one of our biggest cooldowns when we could have freely sapped him, right? And then we got pulled out of stealth too, and we're trying to attack a warrior who's already in Blade Storm. So we got blind into stun into DR fear, and then we go for kidney bombs here. He's already pain supped. So are we dotting? So now we're dotting the healer. We gotta kill his banner. Okay. So now we're probably looking for our sub-rogue to get a blind on this disc priest, and we kidney the warrior. That's what we're looking at. So we got a kidney here. No blind though. We have a blind. We have kick for penance there. Nope, not quite. Okay. Like, even right now, we can just gouge the priest. We can just throw a gouge out. Our rogue has to press blind here at some point. Like, he sees it too, right? So we're kind of walking in circles, walking back and forth. Not good. DR cheap shot, not good. So he throws an off kidney. Does he blind this? Do we finally get our second blind of the game? Yeah, nice. We did another kidney with no blind. We have to just use our big CCs early. And then I think we're just confused on target choice. So we're on this warrior hard. We're destroying this guy. Priest died? Why do these 2300 games look like my 1400 games? Because 2300 and 1400 are very similar. especially in solo shuffle. It's just that there's like certain concepts that are more ingrained in the 2300 player's mind. But like you see how we were just watching someone at 1400 versus someone at 2300. There's a lot of similar mistakes being made, right? Like we're not pressing blind, we're not on the right targets, and then their damage rotations are a bit better and stuff like that. But there's like it's just a bit of stuff is different. It's like right here we got Warrior Rogue. We should literally just sap this Disc Priest and go on the Shadow Priest. Run in. Okay, so we used both saps. That was sick. Food's arriving. So let's see. Yep, so we sap Priest. So right here, we're looking to blind off this sap, right? We have to blind this sap, right? Especially because that's their Carrying Spear, so you should easily be able to get this. Yeah, we're too slow on it, right? Like, so every opener, I swear as a rogue, guys, is you just sap into blind. If you can sap into blind, you will be at least 2500 in solo shuffle. Because that is just all there is to it. Like, it's so simple. If you blind this guy, he not only has to trust his healer or his DPS to press defensive cooldowns, he also has to decide if he wants to trinket or sit it. It's like there's so much he has to think about if he gets blinded, right? And the reason you blind a second early is because you get kidney shotted like this, right? And then you try to trinket out and get the blind late, I think, right? So you could have avoided having to do the trinket blind if you just blinded a second earlier, because he's going to trinket that shit anyways, right? Right? Exactly. Right? Literally. Right? Prime example. Now you got Disperse and Trinket out of the way, and you still have Warrior Fear, so you're basically going to destroy this guy with your Death Mark when the next Fear hits the Priest, right? So when this happens, we should just sit here and wait, and we're going to gouge the Disc Priest off DR, and he's going to full Fear off that, and the game is over. And they use Dome. So we use Stun on the Priest, like this is... We got Paints up on Rogue? This Priest is so dead, there's no way. Kill Siphon. So like here, damn. We should just gout. We should, damn. Can he bomb? Okay. We still have Warrior Fear. We just fear right now. The warrior, yeah, there it is. Oh god, we're. Man, one thing I definitely noticed too at like lower MMR games is cooldowns are just not traded that effectively. Like it just looks like the game is just melting away. Like it's just a nightmare situation like in the opener, and I just can't tell what's even happening. This guy's gotta be dead, right? Finally got a gouge. Alright. Does everyone's UI look like this? Like... Okay, they got him. Let's split? That's what we said for our strategy? That is terrible. Guys, you're in a double rogue lobby. You have to sap 2 people, right? You have to, right? How could you not sap 2 people versus this comp? Sap the Shadow Priest, sap the Disc Priest, go Warrior. Okay, we got the double sap. Let's go Shadow Priest. Someone's got to blind this sap. MC. I don't like this MC because the MC makes it so, one, he's on blind DR, and he can will the Forsaken out of the MC, when if we just blind off the sap, the guy has to trinket, our priest is spam purging, spam dispelling, helping doing damage. Instead, he's MCing a guy, right? So the way to tell your priest to not MC is you throw the blind first, and they'll see the blind, and they're like, they just want MC. But yeah, I swear with a UI like this, like you cannot tell what's going on in the game. There's way too much shit on my screen. I don't even know. Even if they don't see it, at least your blind is full and it's already out, and the other guy's gonna trinket, so then it denies it anyways. Looks like my food has arrived. is going on? Here's a random thing. Like right here, there's too much going on the screen for sure. Like when you get in this situation right here, what you do is like, so you're killing this warrior, which is good, and then you throw the blind, right? Here's another thing. When you throw blind like this, you know the priest is going to trinket, right? So you're already walking at him to gouge his trinket, right? And then you have vanish as well up. So not only can you gouge this guy's trinket, but you can also vanish into a cheap shot garrote as well. So there's a lot of ways you can CC this guy's trinket here, but instead we do none of them. Right, so this guy trinket's blind. We should have immediately been there to gouge this guy. Game's over immediately on this warrior. There's nothing they can do, right? Like, that's a win condition right there. And then we use Vanish and garrote him, which is fried, right? We should have gouged first. We got 4 more seconds, so we could have garroted out. Then we got an MC off it anyways, right? There's just so much overkill CC. Let's see, we got another game. Sap Priest. Double Rogue is so awkward. I'm Aussie Ping, so I always go behind. Double Rogue is weird, but like you have to use your tools as Rogue, right? Like even if you're double Rogue, it's like, okay, we should clearly sap 2 people and open on 1 guy, right? Like that makes perfect sense. You can double sap whoever you want, open on 1 guy, and then you got to blind the healer off the sap. Like what do we do in this opener? Here we should just sap the priest. In this situation, I would, so like, okay, so there's a lot of shit going wrong here. I would let the Shadow Priest and Priest kill this warrior and destroy him, right? Because warriors die very quickly. And the priest is sapped in the room. So we could literally sap this priest 3 times in a row and the warrior would actually get killed. And the fact that our priest stunned this warrior is dumb because now we definitely cannot open with kidney shot on this guy because it's DR'd, right? Okay, so we went and opened and we got a cheap shot on 1, dots on the other. I would get a shiv up and I'll just death mark him right now. Gotta kill this banner. We did a DR blind in the banner. He swaps, that's fine. We just feint this Blade Storm. No feint up, that's not good. We got cheap shot now without feint up. Just cloak. Just cloak, feint, just get in there. Okay, the warrior and bomb. Priest is stunned up here. So all this time, we could be looking to gouge this guy too, right? Full fear on the priest. So your job now is you look to go just gouge this guy. Yeah, we garrote him. See, like, that's bad. Like, it's hard to get a sap off of a fear because of the CC trinket. So that's not good. If we just gouge that guy, save the vanish for damage, would have been way better. Kill him again. Now we're stuck in root. We used Shadow Step there. Didn't really move anywhere with that. Wow. That was going so well, and then it went so bad. Double sap, so it's a 3v1. That's how it should be. You should sap blind always, guys. I swear. It's so simple to do, and it's such a great way to start the game, right? Like, here we should sap this priest, go on the Shadow Priest. I would blind this healer right here. We have to blind this guy right now. We storm bolted it, which was bad by our guy, but we got the blind, so it's okay. We walked right into this, and we trinket defensively. We don't want to trinket here. This is not good. Got out of the bomb. Got a disarm. Okay, Siphon. Almost got it. Almost targeted there. Oh, man. This guy's just getting destroyed through everything. And we got a dub. Wait, we're 2,200. All right. Guys, it might be a wrap. We've been live for 9 hours, guys. Legit 9-hour stream today. Is that GG's for now? And we bring it back hard tomorrow? Massive, massive thank you and shout out to everyone for watching and supporting us in the tournament, man. Y'all are crazy. Guys, another tournament going Wednesday. It's gonna be back again. Whole game is gonna change. Whole new meta switch up. Everything going ridiculous. So thank you all again for an awesome day. All these subs, get your subs, resubs, new subs, donations, bits. And I'll see you guys tomorrow. Peace. Have a great rest of the night, man. Crazy day. 3rd place. Not a bad start.